Se suele decir en literatura, en la fantasía, en el cine, en el teatro, en las series que usted busca seguramente más tarde, que la realidad supera la fantasía o la fantasía se hermana con ciertos temas. Y nos vamos a ir a una época que se traslada hoy, ya van a ver cómo, porque nos llega hasta la semana pasada. ¿Qué pasó con una gran pelea entre Luís XIV y un ministro, Luís Fouquet? El rey es invitado a una fiesta y está Molière y están los Lebrun, los grandes jardines, la ostentación de un palacio recién inaugurado. Gran fiesta. Y el rey llama a su gente y le dice, por favor, lo detienen al señor Fouquet, porque este castillo, este modelo único, se ha hecho con nuestra plata. Es una estafa, es una desviación de recursos. Le dieron perpetua a Fouquet. ¿Quién lo detuvo? ¿Quién se lo llevó preso? D'Artagnan, el famoso capitán de los mosqueteros, aquel que heroicamente a través de varios volúmenes e historias diferentes, Alejandro Dumas, que mucho admiro y me he divertido en mi niñez con él, era realmente un personaje. Y el rey, inteligentemente, muda las obras de arte, la pintura, las esculturas, a un futuro proyecto que copiará y hará más grande e importante Versalles. Y ese castillo hoy se prolonga en las visitas de los turistas, en millones de personas que lo visitan y también visitan Vaux. Hoy, este castillo fue robado, hará pocas semanas, y se llevaron en teoría entre joyas y otros bienes que tenían estas personas que vivían allí en París, 2 millones de euros. Nosotros vamos a ir de la mano de uno de los herederos a conocer el castillo, a enterarnos y tenerlo en nuestro registro de bazar pasaporte para visitar. Sigamos con los libros de Alejandro Dumas, con estas historias de bazar y pasaporte, y disfrutemos de nuestro programa.
Being able to be on the scaffolding, close to the restaurators and artisans, is one of the huge privilege of being here at Vaux-Le-Vicomte. Being a few inches from the pencil or the brush of Charles Lebrun, the painter, and having the explanation of the restaurators were even more amazing. We had recently the privilege to put on one of the most major projects of restoration in the chateau done in the last 50 years, and that was the restoration of the ceiling of the Chambre des Muses, which was the formal bedroom of Fouquet. This room has one of the most beautiful and iconic work of Lebrun.
Charles Lebrun was the preeminent French painter of the 17th century. As a court painter for Louis XIV, he created vast, vivid works that depicted epic stories and scenes from mythology. Louis XIV declared Lebrun the greatest French artist of all time. His paintings can also be seen at Versailles and the Louvre.
He's been doing in the Chambre des Muses one of his most beautiful and very characteristic work that we will then see later at Versailles. So it was a very, very important piece of work that had to be restored. So we began our search to finance it.
Alexis Gregory, an American collector, former book publisher and longtime admirer of Vaux-Le-Vicomte, offered to finance the restoration. Vaux-Le-Vicomte's team of restorers is headed by the atelier of Ariel Bertrand, who has also worked at Versailles.
My job in Vaux-Le-Vicomte was to restore the Salon des Muses, the ceiling, because it was very damaged. We started the restoration 1 year ago. We were a team of 17 people. First, it was impossible to touch the painting because everything was falling down. The first job was to secure it, and the second job was to clean everything because it was very dirty and very dark, and the varnish was very yellow. And we had to take it off to see again the real color of the ceiling. I admired Lebrun for the way he paint the flesh, all the costumes, all the details. It's a great, great painter.
Fouquet chose the concept of muses for the painting, but left the style and all the details to Lebrun. In 1653, Mazarin, the Prime Minister under Louis XIV, appointed Fouquet the Minister of Finance because of his loyalty to the king during the Civil War. Lebrun chose to signify this devotion by painting the Muse of Loyalty at the center of the ceiling. Ironically, that loyalty was not reciprocated. After Fouquet was jailed, Louis XIV and Colbert burned the archive of the castle's construction documents. This created a huge challenge for modern-day restorers who worked like detectives, conducting careful research to rescue the works that were almost completely lost to water damage.
Ariel had looked at the ceiling of the Chambre des Muses and realized that of the 9 muses, one had almost disappeared. Through her investigation and research, she found out that this muse existed on a Lebrun painting that was painted a few years before in l'Hôtel La Rivière in Paris. And Lebrun had used exactly the same character, the same pose, the same clothes that the one at Vaux-Le-Vicomte. So she used this painting that is still known in Paris to find out about the muse of Vaux-Le-Vicomte.
To work in Vaux-Le-Vicomte, it's a very special honor. You can spend 1 year in this castle, so we can see all day long, from the morning to evening. There is a light. Every day it's different. There is a lot of life in this castle.
The ceiling, when the scaffolding was down, my father went to see it, and he was very, very moved. It really is today a new room with some colors and some dynamics in the characters, the 9 muses, and the central painting that has been also a lot of work that really gives today something very new and very fresh. The restorators made a fantastic job because they kept the spirit of Lebrun. They kept the style and the atmosphere of this grand painting, and today is extraordinary, the power that one can feel through this mise en scène, through this setting of this painting.